Hey everyone, so let's talk about reading on an Amazon Kindle e-reader, like my Oasis on the left here, versus reading on a Fire tablet, like Amazon Fire tablet on the right here. So first I'm going to talk about a comic. This one is Archie comic. Next, we'll talk about actually reading a book, not just comic. But I just want to start off with comics because to me this is like the biggest difference. And you guys can probably tell right away. You have color on the tablet. You do not have color on the e-reader. So this is nice and colorful. That is not. Another big difference is I can zoom in and out super duper easy on the Fire. So if something is small, you can zoom in quite a bit. Technically, you can do the same thing on the e-reader. It takes a lot longer to do, and you don't really know where exactly it's going to be stopping. And we get on here, you can zoom in right to where you want and let go. You know where it's going to stop. This is a lot harder to do. So those are two big differences. If you do a lot of comic book reading, this to me would be the better option. Any Fire tablet or any tablet over the e-reader, just because it's nice and colorful, easier to zoom in and out of. Another thing is you can also switch through pages a lot faster for whatever reason you need to. On here I do have the buttons, so I'm going to do that for this. You see it's slower and sometimes it kind of lags out a little bit. Right, you can see there, going to the front of the comic, it kind of lags out. You can also do it like this, which actually sometimes is a bit faster and sometimes isn't. Another thing, if you do need to go to a certain spot in your comic, you can do that. And then you can zoom to whatever one you want to go to. Again, you can sort of do it on here as well. Again, it does take a bit longer to do. We can flip through each page individually, or we can also use a slider down here. But again, it's just a lot slower to react. It's just a lot slower in general. Another thing I want to mention is on the Fire tablet, if you have it in horizontal mode like this, you do have two different pages on one screen. If I turn it vertical, I will get one page on screen, even on the 8-inch tablet like I have here. Then let's talk about actually reading a book, an actual book, not just a comic. I shouldn't say not just, but not a comic here. Let's talk about a book. I apparently hit the wrong one there. We're going into the Fire Within. I'm not sure what the heck I did. Alright, so for reading books, they are both pretty similar here. Of course, you have e-ink, which will be easier to see outside. It's also nicer on the eyes, especially if you read at night. Then this Oasis here does have the blue light filter on it. Not all Kindles have that though. Where of course the tablet, all of them will have the blue light filter on there. It will be a little bit harder to read outside. So if you do read outside in full sun or something, this will be definitely easier to see. It's more like reading an actual book, is what they say, compared to a tablet, of course. So on both these, if we do push and, well, not push, but touch and hold, we can do a couple different things here. So we have a highlight, we have a note, you have a share, search, more options, open dictionary, content error, or if you want to report that. And then do the same thing. Then down here we also have a dictionary. It'll tell you what the word means, of course, dictionary. You actually have Wikipedia if you are hooked up to Wi-Fi. It also has a translation, so you can translate it from whatever language to another language. There we go. So we have Arabic, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Danish, whole bunch of other things if we scroll down. So it does give you a whole bunch of cool options there. If we do the same thing on the tablet, we can highlight it again, note, search, copy, share, report the content error. You also have a dictionary. Let me closer to the camera here. So we also do have a dictionary there, Wikipedia, and Translate as well. So again, very similar options on both of these devices. Pretty cool thing with the e-reader here. If I pinch to zoom, it will actually increase the font size or decrease the font size depending on if you're pinching in or out. No such thing on here. So we touch the top of the screen on both of these. We will again have very similar options. So we hit the double A on both of these. So we'll start here with, again, the tablet. So you do have different fonts. You also have different layouts, so you can choose your page color between these 4 different colors here. Actually, continue scrolling if you want to keep that on. Margin, spacing, alignment, columns, brightness as well. You also have themes if you want to do any of these. And then you have a whole bunch more options here as well. You turn on word-wise if you want, which will show you hints above challenging words. Text to speech, you can actually turn that on. You can turn on your clock. Want to do that. Turn pages with volume controls. So if I hit so instead of swiping through it, I can hit my volume controls on the side here or the top here, and you can do that. Turn on animations and a few other things here as well. So if we do that, so if we turn up the volume here, now that we have that turned on.
Hat for rent. She clasped her hands together and smiled. Officially, it's our dining room, but we always...
It will start talking to you. That is actually really, really cool. It's kind of like Audible, but with a robotic voice. So that I think is really, really cool. And I believe depending on the Kindle you have, some have the option and some do not. If you hook these up to a Bluetooth speaker, it can actually do the same thing where it will read to you as well. But again, this does not have a built-in speaker, unlike the tablet. So you have to have Bluetooth headphones, and not every Kindle will do it. But if we look at the e-reader here, again, these options, we have different themes, just like on the tablet. You have different fonts, different font sizes and bold. Different layouts. So this is how you would change your orientation if you want it this way or if you want it this way, and how you want it. Margins, alignment, and spacing. Then we also do have some other things here. So you have your clock on if you want. I have mine on. And I think we went a little bit too far there. Book mentions. So and identifies names of other books mentioned in this book. About this book. Popular highlights, word-wise. And, okay, for Chinese characters, if you want that as well. So, not as many options on here as you do have on here. Especially, like, the color of the pages, you do not have that on here. But you can have, again, depending on which Kindle you have, dark mode or light mode. So, if you want the black or you want the white background. And I should also mention... I kind of went over it very, very quick, but you do have columns on here as well. So if you want it to be double 2 pages on one screen, it will not do it if you are vertical, but if you are horizontal, you can turn that on or off. So again, going into double A's, going down to columns. So you have it 1 page per screen, or you can have it 2. Pretty cool. So those are the biggest things I would say are the differences and similarities between reading on the Kindle tablet, the Fire, versus the actual e-reader. Both are very similar, and I think it really depends on if you want more of a book-like feeling, this is more closer to that, or if you want a tablet, this is closer to that, or if you want a e-reader that can do a whole bunch of other things like a tablet can do. Of course, the Fire tablet is going to be able to do that. You can technically go online and do web browsing on here. It's just very terrible. Would not recommend it, but you can technically do it. So, y'all let me know what you think. Which one would you choose? And as always, I do appreciate you. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.